the supernatural.
Download the Legacy Edition of Spirit Blade, a full past audio drama, for free at spiritblade.com.
Well, my editing skills are crap, but can the same thing be said about the new Mutants? Stick around and find out. Down, 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 down. Hey, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. This is my uncut review of The New Mutants. The IMDb synopsis, with just a slight modification from me, reads, after a near-death experience during a strange tornado, Danielle Moonstar awakens in an abandoned research facility run by the mysterious Dr. Cecilia Reyes. There, Dr. Reyes, who introduces Danny to 4 other equally uncommon teenagers, wants to keep them safe and sound until they learn how to be in full control of their extraordinary abilities. However, even though the exceptional team of traumatized inmates believes that they're being treated and cared for, before long, they all start to experience horrifying hallucinations. But this institution was supposed to be a safe place. Are they patients or prisoners? All right, so what is this animal? Well, this is the last movie in the Fox X-Men film continuity franchise, starting with Bryan Singer's X-Men and moving on into, many other X-Men movies and some Wolverine movies. And so this is, I thought that the X-Men Dark Phoenix was going to be kind of like the last X-Men movie, which kind of ended on a whimper, in my opinion. This one, very much the same in that regard as far as like how I felt about it. It's a halfway point between an X-Men movie and a horror movie, I think. But to me, it doesn't feel enough like either. I would have preferred a full-on horror movie that just happens to take place in the X-Men universe. But they're also trying to handle like budding teen romance drama and coming-of-age plots and stuff, and I just think that there were tones kind of competing with each other in my experience. There's also, I think, a few points in the writing and the dialogue that took me out of the story and had me saying, why would they do that? We've got a villain that's basically telegraphing to their victim their plans. And I'm like, if you would just keep your mouth shut, they would be none the wiser. They wouldn't even know what you're about to do, and you could actually succeed in what you're doing. But they say, well, I'm going to do this to you, and I'm going to do this to you. And so they start yelling and screaming and da-da-da-da-da, and of course, that catches the attention of their friends so that their friends can come to their rescue. So I'm just like, why in the world, why is this writing happening right now? And there's other times where I'm saying, why don't these characters do this? It's like, it seems obvious to me they should be able to do this. We've seen that they can do this in the past. Why are they not doing this right now? And I think that in one or two of those cases, it's not necessarily the fault of the writing, because I think if other elements of the movie were stronger, I wouldn't notice those things as much. But once some key things for me start to fall through in a movie, that's when all the other things start to surface that I'm not thrilled with, and I start nitpicking and stuff, and all of it starts to snowball. And that's really what happened while I was watching this movie. Characters felt to me like little more than the results of their tragedies. I really wanted the characters to be fleshed out more, to understand, what their life values are. You could get a sense of that in one or two of them, but this is an ensemble cast, and I really felt like I wasn't getting what I wanted. I knew who they were in the context of the tragedies that brought about their present circumstances, but as far as personality traits beyond that, I didn't get near as much as I wanted in order to really truly invest in these characters. And for me, in a horror movie, that's a really important component. I need to care about the characters that are being threatened by whatever horrific thing they're being threatened by. And a lot of horror movies, admittedly, fail to do that as well. So, that's not necessarily the fault of this movie, having competing tones. But that is something that if a horror movie doesn't have, I'm going to be like, it's just another teen slasher flick. I'm just watching them all get picked off one by one. I'm not leaning on the edge of my seat, hoping that they'll survive. I don't care about them as characters. And so that's true of a lot of horror movies, and I felt the same about this movie. I think that they could have helped that problem be lessened if they would have deleted one character from the script in favor of a deeper focus and a fleshing out of the other characters that remain. I think that one of the two male characters probably could have been deleted, and the remaining one could have picked up the slack for the plot points of the deleted character, and then we also would have had more time to get a little bit deeper into these characters and what maybe drives them apart from their difficult circumstances. Oh crap! What is this? All right. Do I want this one? What is this? This is Uncut, so I'm doing this Uncut right now. I've just got an alert. Let's see here. What time is it? It's that time. System in stock. No. Digital system in stock. Why are you telling me this? What is this? What stock? This is I'm using an app to alert me when there are in-stock notifications for the PlayStation 5. And this is Uncut. I said it's Uncut. I don't want to start this thing over. Dang it. All right, well, I don't know what that is. I'm going to keep an eye on this while I continue telling you my thoughts about the movie. As far as the cast and the performances go, we had familiar faces like Anya Taylor-Joy, who's been in Morgan, a movie that I really liked and thought she was great in. She was in The Witch, which she's really well known for. She was also in the movies Split and Glass. So she's really giving a more and more familiar face to me. And I really enjoy what I have seen of her so far. Let's see here. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Let's see. Let's try this one, see what this one. That's probably not what I want, but we'll see anyway. I don't know, my phone's having trouble loading this. So once again, I'm going to miss out on getting a PS5. What else is new? Oh, wait, let's see here. This is a bundle. Oh, geez, come on, GameStop. $849, they want me to buy all this other crap along with the PS5. It's not worth it. I'm going to wait. Anyway, but as much as I have enjoyed Anya Taylor-Joy's performance in past movies I've seen her in, she didn't feel as fitting in this role as others that I've seen her in. There's also Charlie Heaton, who's a familiar face to myself and many of you, maybe because of him playing the older brother in Stranger Things. I really liked his performance in that show, but he wasn't given much to work with here, as you know was the case with all the ensemble cast characters. Blue Hunt gets the most focus. She plays the main character, and I felt like her performance style was a bit too static or wooden compared to the complexity and nuance that I want. I think that her performance style is certainly fine for many other types of things. I think that in some ways it's what I would expect from TV actors and stuff, and that actually is a significant part of her past experience, but I really want something more premium. I mean, for me, actors' performances are a big part of the experience for me, and so I really just wanted something more than I think she was willing or that she was told to give in this character. So, and again, there's little that I think the characters had to work with in the script or the final edit, whatever the case may be, in terms of the focus on their characters. All right, as far as the stunts and visual presentation of this thing, the visual effects I would compare to premium TV quality in terms of the CG. Definitely not theatrical quality to my eye. Now, granted, my eye is cursed to pick out CGI unusually well, so that's an unfortunate circumstance that I find myself in. But I do think that's probably a fair assessment of the visual effects. The cinematography and lighting also felt very straightforward to me and looked like a network television show at times. This director is kind of new to this type of directing this type of film. He's done more, from what I can tell, like romantic dramas and stuff like that, so more standard shot type of stuff is what I would assume those movies are like. So anyway, the direction, the cinematography, and the visual effects just really didn't stand out and do what I wanted them to do for a movie of this type. Now, as far as themes, is there anything of moral, philosophical, or spiritual significance going on in the themes of this thing that might stimulate some worthwhile thought or conversation? I mean, I think all the pieces are in place to do that. We have a gay relationship that's kind of like a budding romance type thing, discovering their own sexuality kind of story, and certainly there's a number of things that I could comment on in that regard. It seems consistent in how that kind of theme has been increasingly bubbling to the surface in X-Men movies, and I think is tied to the main theme of X-Men, which is rejection by society, rejection by authority figures, or increasingly, or in this case at least, rejection by religious authority and things like that. So I think it's a little unfortunate that particular kind of like demographic circumstance is bubbling to the surface, because there are so many people that feel like outsiders in life, and I think that the more generalized you keep it, then the more different types of people who are dealing with different types of struggles that make them feel like outsiders can connect with the X-Men. And so I think it's a little unfortunate to kind of pigeonhole it. I mean, obviously I have feelings based on the Bible about pursuing homosexual relationships, but even setting that aside, I think it's unfortunate to maybe focus a little bit too much on one of those demographics, and we miss out on opportunities to maybe contemplate some other things that we or others are going through. Let's see, there's the typical Catholic priests are evil stuff that I'm just kind of like at this point rolling my eyes there. I'm not even Catholic, you know, but I'm just like, come on, really? We've got the grown-ups are bad and no one understands us themes going on. We've got grown-ups and authorities are oppressive and we want our freedom kind of stuff going on. We've got a message of choose what kind of person you want to become. So lots of themes that are relevant to teenagers and young adults, with an execution in the presentation of this movie that I think fans of CW shows may be able to enjoy. But I am not a fan of CW shows and most network television, so I just can't connect with the presentation of this story. And so the themes, as a result, hit me like a brick wall and fall to the ground in front of me, completely, you know, having no effect. So a bit of a bummer. Now, I have no idea what your tastes are in movies, but if I were a time traveler, I'd go back in time and say, Peter, skip this one. It feels like the second X-Men movie after Dark Phoenix to be given less budget and support than it really needs to be a quote-unquote X-Men movie, you know? And it's just not given the proper treatment that all of those other movies have been given. The production was halted mid-merger between Fox, as Disney was acquiring Fox. And so this seems to be in part the victim of that. They were off production for like a year after shooting before they came back and started doing post-production on this movie, from what I understand. So it feels like a movie that they weren't sure would be finished, maybe from the very beginning, weren't putting their best foot forward in terms of budget and people behind the scenes working on it. But so in the end, I'm purely speculating on what was going on behind the scenes. But what this feels like to me is a product that was not given the passion and the budget and the resources that it really should have gotten compared to the other X-Men movies, and that also maybe at some point the suits were saying, I don't know, do we even want to like finish this movie and get it out and pay the money to make that happen? You know what? Yeah, let's just get it out the door and try to minimize our losses, because enough people will buy tickets based on the X-Men name to hopefully minimize our losses on this. That's really what it feels like to me, you know, regardless of whatever the truth behind the scenes actually was. So my advice to you, Peter, would be to let Logan be the powerful and haunting epilogue to the Fox X-Men franchise, and let this one, along with Dark Phoenix, be forgotten if possible. All right, this one's rated PG-13 for violent content, some disturbing bloody images, some strong language, thematic elements, and suggestive material. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to get yours in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, click that bell to stay connected. I want to thank the Spirit Blade Insiders for making this review possible. Tons of exclusive benefits of becoming a Spirit Blade Insider. You can get more information at patreon.com/SpiritBladeProductions. And then, of course, I hope you'll join us soon over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth.
Do you believe in the supernatural?
Download the Legacy Edition of Spirit Blade, a full past audio drama, for free at spiritblade.com.